Hey guys, Panda back here. Yeah, I'm working on upgrading my hybrid build, and I'm going to stay a hybrid build. Okay? Now, I did go back and reset my passive talents, and through some advice and suggestions from other people, I'm following a similar track, but I am not changing away from my hybrid build, okay? This build is designed to be a solo melee DPS and self-heal type of build, okay? Now, granted, we only get 1 point per level, and it takes time. You can only allocate so many points at once, and it's going to take time to get your points where you want to put your points at. Here, I realize, yes, I want to focus on critical hit chance. I want my rage regenerating in place of my willpower. In other words, you go out, you always start with your willpower first. I want to start with my rage first because I do have a lot of rage-based abilities, and that's the bread and butter. My primary willpower ability that I am utilizing is the self-heal, the Bulwark of Dawn. But I'm focusing on my DPS aspects and critical strike hit chance first. I am not relying on Life Leech. I don't even have points into Life Leech yet. But yes, I am going to take Life Leech, and I'm going to come down off the ranged tree. I'm going to come into the ranger tree over here. I'm going to get points put into my projectiles because, yes, I do use the auto turret. I want points in the projectile as well. And I'm going to come down more into the magic tree here, into your willpower tree. And then I'll branch off from there and put other points, but it takes time. It may be 15 more levels before I allocate what I'm planning on doing here. But anyway, going back to some simple stuff here. Yes, I am using a catalyst still. I'm not going to change from that. I got a good drop for a unique dagger because I want to be able to use melee weapons that allow me to use melee abilities. Sure, I already know, yes, if you're using certain abilities for melee, your best bet for the highest DPS would be to equip your highest damage two-handed weapon. I totally get that, but that's not the play style that I want to do. I want to play the way I want to play. And yeah, I've run into difficulties, believe me, get my ass handed to me several times trying to do the bosses. I know how it goes. But it makes me want to get better and look at things and redo things to make this work because this is how I want to play. Anyways, the abilities I have Blade Storm. I have my auto turret. I have Bleeding Edge. I have Bulwark of Dawn. And yes, I have another willpower ability, Annihilation. I prefer Annihilation over the Thunderstrike ability. I just think it just works better for me. Okay, that's my personal preference. Now, how do I have things allocated with these particular skills? Well, once again, it takes a while to get all the skill modifiers that you want. You have to play around with everything. Annihilation, it's pretty much touch and go. Increase your critical strike chance, increase your damage with it. I increase the beam radius because it makes it a little bit wider. I'm hitting more stuff as I do it. Come down to auto turret. Well, I made it to where I can summon 2 turrets, and I put another point back in skill duration to add 2 more seconds to it. And as I get more points, I'll come through it and I'll figure out what I want to do with it. I definitely want to add more damage to it. But we'll see. It takes time to get those built up. Blade Storm, self-explanatory, Critical damage. I want to focus on critical damage with these abilities here. But I'm still playing with it. Still rotating with it. Bleeding Edge. This is one that I'm kind of going down a different road with, but yet it'll be similar. You know, unstoppable momentum. Axe continues to spin after being thrown. But, you know, the other thing is, too, most of the time you're standing still. As I get higher level with it, I definitely want to use Astral Orbit so the axe will follow me at the same time. But I'm going to experiment and find out what works good for me. I'm not going to follow just a standard meta because that seems to be all that works. Bulwark of Dawn. Lots of choices to use. The biggest one that I want on this one, and believe me, this thing is a lifesaver. But I want to get to level 41 on this to where this follows you when you cast it on yourself. Trust me, this thing will save your ass more than once. Watch your willpower. Always make sure you have willpower. And, of course, I'm going to want to get extended protection. I want the duration to last longer. Especially when you're in those boss fights where the whole ground fills up with nothing but fire or corrupted whatever. You remember specifically the end boss from Act 2, and the whole thing would fill up. I mean, maybe it was a glitch. But I tell you what, your potions didn't get you through it. If you couldn't dodge roll to get out of something, you couldn't do anything about it. You know, so, you know, a life leech isn't going to do you any good in a case like that unless you're hitting multiple mobs. So, especially when you're taking big damage. But yeah, you know, and I still stand by my concept of using summoning abilities. Summoning abilities are great, from what I have found, at least for, you know, clearing mobs. But pay attention to what you want to do with your playstyle, okay? This build I'm working on is primarily melee DPS with a focus on having access to your willpower abilities so you can do that self-heal on yourself. Yeah, you're giving up some damage because you're not equipping some big, massive two-handed weapon. But there are other ways that you can pick up the extra damage. Just pay attention to your skill modifiers. And it's going to take time because you only get so many points as you're going along. You may not even be able to get the kind of actual build you want until you're into your late 40 levels. You know, so yeah, be patient and play around with it. You know, I've got a couple of the videos there that strictly state they are beginner guides. Nowhere do I state that these videos are, or these builds are definitely end game. Here you go. I'm doing this one step at a time, just like any other new player, and learning as I go, and I'm just trying to share that with you guys. Okay? Anyways, hope you guys all enjoying the game. I know I'm having a good time. I'm in Act 3 right now, so I will do further updated videos on how my progress with this build works out for me so that I can share it with you guys. If you have any comments, you know, please share them. Leave a like, leave a dislike. As I said before, you're watching the video, I'm getting a view for it. You may as well leave something in return, okay? Anyways, peace out, guys. Have a great day.